I want to talk about um, applying color over a gesso uh, black and white underpainting. This is a technique that I sort of invented a few years back when they first came out with black gesso. Gesso is gesso is a primer paint, uh, white gesso primarily to coat a canvas to prepare it for oils. And then when they came out with black gesso, I discovered that you could mix them like acrylics, but it makes the texture very, um, ad, how can I say it? The paint adheres to it better, and the pigment of the oils uh, tints the tonal differences in the gesso, allowing you to see color through the gesso, if that makes any sense. So rather than just having straight lines on a canvas where you can apply paint and get lost in your lines, when you apply first layers of oils over a gesso black and white underpainting, you can still see all your tonal values. And then after several layers, um, it gets covered up, and it gets covered up very nicely, much better than an acrylic underpainting or even an oil underpainting for that matter. The idea here is just basically to get some color in there and to scratch it into all the nooks and cranny of the painting, of the texture of the canvas. Sort of mixed red with orange, but I want it fairly vibrant, so I don't want it too strong at all. I'm looking at my reference on my other screen here, just how intense I want this color. And again, these are only the first layers, so I call it the ugly stage until it smooths out after a while, after so many layers. And I paint layers on layers on layers. It's not a one-shot deal. The reason why I prefer to use Liquin over linseed oil is because it dries very fast. So, you know, within a few hours, I can actually go back over a certain layer and keep painting. And I'm not painting wet and wet all the time. As you can see, I'm scrubbing it in, making sure it gets in all those nooks and crannies. And again, like I said before, the first layers of color don't matter. Just get the color on there. It's the last layers that you have to worry about for style, brush stroke, technique. Well, not so much technique, I guess, but style. I'm using a brush that's kind of used. It got a little stiff, which is great for this technique because it's scrubbing. I'm scrubbing it in, not really painting, as you can tell. Overlapping colors is fine. Let them bleed a little bit and clean it up later. You don't have to be too meticulous at this stage. This stage doesn't really count. It's almost like trying to get the painting to a starting point. It's not at a starting point yet. Over the years, I discovered a nice little secret. Well, something I stumbled across when I was doing my Alien series. Mixing dioxazine purple with viridian green gives you a really nice steel blue. And that's what I'm going to do here. I'm going to mix those colors for this area. I'm keeping this fairly thin, diluted with Liquin, so that it spreads easily enough. It's almost like giving a watercolor wash, really. Okay, so as I mentioned before, I'm mixing viridian green with dioxazine purple. Gives you a really rich steel blue. and it leans one way or the other depending on if you want it more green or more purple, but this is the color that I thought appropriate for this area. So I'm just going to scratch that in. Yeah, it's working out okay. As I've been saying, that's the nice thing about doing black and white gesso background, so I can still see my whole character, tones and all, through the paint, this first layer of paint. So here's a demonstration of what I was talking about earlier, mixing dioxazine purple with viridian green. It creates this blue. See that? Green, purple, blue. It's crazy, but it's a beautiful color. Watch, I'm using it here for the water. It's a little bit intense, but it doesn't matter. Just rub it around, wipe some off. As you can see, it makes an interesting blue. It's crazy. So this is why I use different Prismacolor pencils when I outline, because when I glaze over, the Liquin will liquefy the Prismacolor and tint it. So right now I used a green Prismacolor to outline all this lighting, neon lighting here. As I go over it, you'll see that, you know, I can still see the tone of my grays, of the just underpainting, and that Prismacolor pencil now doesn't become a problem. If I had to use the black, that would have really tinted this color right now. It would get a little muddy. So now it blends over just fine. Again, this is only the first layer. It's only to get some color in there. See, I got some pencil marks there I can see. And again, I'm just scratching it in. Not so much painting yet. Just trying to get some color in all the little cracks of the texture of the canvas. And again, I'm just tinting it right now. And the gesso, the primer, is taking on the tint of the oils. I'm just gonna mix this again with a little bit of viridian, just a little bit of, to neutralize the red in that sienna. The mixture is a little bit pinker, because I added a little bit more purple in the burnt sienna, and again just a touch of green to neutralize the reds, but it gives a nice start to a flesh color. Man, this is not easy to paint and hold on to the camera at the same time, but I'm experimenting. So here's my workstation. As you can see, I'm fairly organized in my mess. And here's the final first layer of oils diluted with Liquin over gesso black and white underpainting. I will paint over these areas several times until they are refined and smooth. But this is fairly rough, but it's a good start. All right, so that's how I apply oil paints diluted with Liquin over a gesso black and white underpainting. I hope you found it interesting. It's dry to the touch now because this is the next day. I finished the top this morning, and it's at a point now where I can actually start painting. Right now, this is a rough, and it's almost like a color underpainting. I'd say it's at its ugly stage, and it will get tighter and smoother as I paint more and more layers. But I'm happy with how it turned out. I'll just balance out some of the tones and colors, and then I can start refining some of these areas. Hope you found it interesting, my technique, and you give it a shot. Let me know if you do. I'd be thrilled if you tried this. So that's it for now. Thanks for watching my video. Cheers. Go paint.